Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of TBC in TV's News and Public Affairs. The person who is starting this segment is no other than Kuram Ali. Well, you already know him. He's been with us since TBC in TV had started, and he knows the ethos that we follow at TBC in TV. Not only that, he is a political science graduate. He was a former political writer or journalist during his college days. He is our beloved teammate, and he is the regional director for the Middle East and also our director for video production. He is our esteemed teammate, so we trust him fully to cover Pakistan with all objectivity. So, Kuram Ali, will you please welcome our audience in this maiden edition of your News and Public Affairs Pakistan?
Well, welcome everybody, and thank you, Angela, for having me on this show. It's always a privilege to be part of your talk shows. Uh, yes, the political situation in Pakistan is fragile, and not only the political situation, but the economic situation as well. Now, this started ever since the former Prime Minister, Mr. Imran Khan, was ousted from power through a very controversial no confidence move by the opposition parties. And since then, Mr. Khan is he's on the streets demanding a dissolution of the assembly and early elections. And the people don't seem to have. I'm a journalist. I meet a lot of people every day. I have interaction with so many people. The people in general, a vast majority of Pakistanis have not accepted this government. Uh, they call it an imported government. There's been Twitter trends for the last so many days, since 9th April when this happened. People don't accept this government because it has a legal issues. It has credibility issues as well. Because Angela, you should be surprised to know that out of 34 cabinet members, 24 are out on bail, facing criminal charges. They're facing drug-related charges. They are even facing murder charges, and they've been sworn in as ministers, federal ministers in Pakistan. Now, it's very ironic that even the Prime Minister, Mr. Sharif, he is also facing, he's on bail and he's facing huge money laundering charges. And this is the same with his son, who has been imposed as the Chief Minister of Punjab, Hamza. Hamza is also facing money laundering charges like his father, but he has been made the CM of the biggest province of Pakistan, Punjab. So the people are out on the streets, and from 6th of this month, Mr. Imran Khan has chalked out a series of meetings, huge demonstrations in various cities of Pakistan. And he has announced that by the end of this month, he's going on a long march to Islamabad to for a sit-in and in order to lock down the city. Islamabad is the capital and the seat of power of Pakistan. So the situation is really bad here. I mean,
Okay,
it's in turmoil.
thank you for letting us know. Let me just ask you this question because I'm a little, well, I just need some more enlightenment about um what what caused how come Imran Khan was um ousted his out of office when in fact in the past I'm not sure about the newspapers, but I scanned through and I was really reading very positive feedback about Imran Khan and how Pakistan has been developing and improving um, under his governance. And all of a sudden, I just read in the newspaper that Pakistan is into a political trial right now, due to him, like suddenly he was just ousted out of power. So I was thinking, well, I really am not sure about your constitution and everything. So can you please enlighten us about your constitution? And second question, are you um are you a democratic country?
First, yes, Imran Khan was. I'll give the. I list the reasons first. Imran Khan was ousted on the behest of USA. It's widely believed here, and Mr. Khan believes that the US government administration has colluded with the opposition parties here, and he also cites a letter or a communique, official communique, which was handed over to the Pakistani ambassador in Washington. Now, this official, US official, he warned the Pakistani ambassador that if Imran Khan is not removed with the help of through a no confidence move, then there's going to be consequences for Pakistan. And he did that in a very harsh and very rude tone. And but but if Mr. Khan is removed with the help of this no confidence move by the opposition, then US will consider talking to Pakistan. Now, soon after this, on this happened on 7th of April, and on the 8th, on the 7th of March, on the 8th, the opposition suddenly moved a no confidence move, and all sorts of horse trading started here, and it was also reported by the agencies, intelligence agencies, that the U.S. ambassadors were meeting the opposition leaders as well as the insurgent leaders, some leaders who were turning against Mr. Khan. They're meeting them individually, they're having meetings with them. A lot of money was also spent in this regard. Now, having said this, yes, this was happening in broad daylight, and the people in this social media era, they are very aware of everything. People were watching this, so they are angry now. So the people are on the streets. The night when Imran Khan was removed through this no confidence move, there was spent spontaneous response in all major cities of Pakistan. Hundreds and thousands of Pakistanis came out on their own, leaderless, without any leader. They just came out and they protested against this new system.
Graham, let me just ask you, do you have proofs of the US intervention to your?
Uh, well, like I said, Mr. Khan was prime minister at that time, and he presented this letter in the National Security Committee (NSC). This is a high-level committee which is presided over by the prime minister, and it is attended by the chief of army staff, chief of navy staff, chief of air force, and about 7 to 8 intelligence agencies, including ISI, the premier spy agency of Pakistan, military intelligence chief, uh, intelligence bureau chief, and some other agencies. So this letter was endorsed. He placed the letter in front of this committee, and this National Security Committee endorsed this letter that yes, it was a threat and it was a conspiracy. Now, again, after Mr. Sharif took over, he presented this letter again to the committee, and he wanted their opinion. And again, this was said in the meeting minutes that it was a genuine threat to Pakistan by US.
By
But
the
let me tell you, the
But
people
you
are
are a
very angry.
sovereign country, aren't you?
Well, we are supposed to be a sovereign country, but
Well, how come
this is what
there's
Mr.
how
Khan.
come
This is
US
what
has
Mr.
a
Khan.
hand in influencing your
Uh,
government?
uh, Angela, this is what Mr. Khan. People think that Mr. Khan stands for. He stands for the sovereignty of Pakistan, for integrity. He wants the main reason for his ouster, according to the analysts, is that he wanted to take out Pakistan from the US bloc to the China and Russian bloc, because they are our neighbors, and we share common interests with them.
Mhm. Ah,
And the visit, the Russian visit of Mr. Khan, was the last coffin on the nail. The US
oh.
bluntly asked a foreign affairs minister to ask Mr. Khan not to take this visit, but he went there anyway. He went there in the interest of the country, and
Who
to pay
asked?
the cost.
Okay. So, all right. So the visit in Russia was the trigger point.
It was.
Okay.
And you know what? Just let me give
Yes.
you about 4 or 5 months back. The U.S. officially asked Pakistan to give us a military base near the border of Afghanistan so that they can send their drones and attack the Taliban and other forces over there. And
Oh.
Pakistan refused. The Prime Minister refused. He said, "No, we won't be part of this war because 80,000 Pakistani lives have been lost in the Afghan war." So he refused. So that was also one of the reasons for his removal. Now, Angela, let me. You asked me why, since Khan was popular, but why then he was
Yes.
removed from power, and why
Yes.
the people are protesting? Well,
Mhm.
I'll list a few of his works. He was applauded as Pakistan was applauded as one of the three countries in the world which handled Corona, or this COVID-19 situation very well. He didn't close any industries because he cared for the poor. He wanted the industries to flourish, and we
Mhm.
left for the first time. We left behind India and Bangladesh in exports. So number two, he set up shelterless or shelter homes for the shelterless people, for the laborers who go to the cities from rural areas. And this shelter homes provided 3 times meal and shelter for those who don't have roof over their heads. Now, Mr. Khan, you must be know you must. This is a very, I mean, everybody knows that he has set up cancer hospitals, two cancer hospitals, huge hospitals, state of the art in Pakistan, one in Lahore and one in Peshawar. For the poor, it's absolutely free. Cancer treatment is very expensive, you know that,
Mhm.
and so it's absolutely free for the poor, for the people, for the poor people.
Mhm.
He has set up state-of-the-art university, which is called Namal University, and it's affiliated with Bradford University of
Oh.
United
Mhm.
Kingdom, and he was a dean for 2 years of this university.
Oh. Okay.
Mr. Khan also, he for the first time in the history of Pakistan, there's no mortgage system here. The people who don't have any money, they cannot have their own houses or apartments. But he set up a program which is called Mera Ghar. That means my house, Mera Ghar PM house loan, and $54,000 with a very little markup was being offered to people through banks. So many people now have their roofs on their. So that's why they are angry. He also gave green metro line train to Karachi. I mean, things like that. So people are really
Oh.
angry because this government is undoing everything he had done. They are reversing it. So the people are angry. And everybody is talking of new elections in Pakistan. They want this system, this current system to go, and they want to bring back Mr. Khan.
So, in spite of all this that Imran Khan had done to your country, how come he was given a non-confidence vote by the opposition?
Uh, if you ask anybody in Pakistan, they'll tell you that in Islamabad, there's a place called Sindh House, which is the official residence of the government of Sindh. Let me tell you that the Sindh province, where I live in Karachi, is the capital of Sindh province. It is being governed by one of the opposition parties, Pakistan People's Party. So it is alleged, and that this party they bought bags full of money here in Sindh House, and the MPAs were being purchased. They were being bought here.
Mm.
Yeah, to leave the Pakistan Tehreek Insaf of Mr. Imran Khan and join in the no confidence move. They didn't have the number, but they bought so many uh, MNAs for the magic number of 172. They wanted 172 members to oust Mr. Khan. So this happened, and this was happening in broad daylight, as I told you. Everybody knew it. So the manner in this, the manner in the way this no confidence move was carried out is very controversial, and people have not accepted this.
I saw rallies, pro Imran Khan rallies all over the world. Um, in some of the uh, pages of my Pakistani friends. Well, I do have clients from Pakistan. Some of them live in the UK, some of them live in Dubai, and some of them live in Canada. And I think it just caught me by surprise that this is happening in Pakistan, because I've been really hearing very positive feedback, and I think he was and he is well loved. This is my impression. But, well, that's why I wanted to speak with you regarding this, because it was as if things just happened so abruptly. And my question is, if you are a sovereign nation, how come, uh, as you know, we alleged here, and based on what we've read, how come the USA still has a hand in maneuvering your politics, um, and or politics and government? Another thing is that if you are a democratic society, how come the voice of the people was not heard?
Angela, let me tell you, we were a sovereign country or state from 71 to 77 during the reign of Mr. Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, another very popular prime minister. And like Mr. Khan, he also stood for the people, for the integrity and sovereignty of Pakistan. And he was finally, he was brought down from power and through a coup, military coup d'etat, and he was hanged on baseless charges. Everybody admits this in Pakistan now, through the courts, unfortunately. And now Pakistan people were realizing that yes, and people are so proud during this from 2018 up to about 1 month back. There was a feeling that Pakistan has a sovereignty, and we stood up on our own legs. So now Mr. Khan has paid his price for being sovereign. Yes, there is a history of U.S. interference in Pakistan. It is alleged that the first Prime Minister of Pakistan, Mr. Liaquat Ali Khan, he was democratically elected. He was a very honest man, very straightforward. He was also assassinated. Then Zulfikar Ali Bhutto was assassinated, and now Imran Khan, he's being brought down from power in this manner. So there's sovereignty is an issue with Pakistan. Whenever a leader stands up, he's removed with the help of their local, you know, collaborators.
So what is going to happen next? Um, what is going to happen next? So what are the plans of those who are now seated uh, in the government? Are they going to continue, or will there be a snap election? What is now the plan of Imran Khan's camp? So
Like I
where
said,
is Pakistan headed now?
yeah, the government is absolutely, it's not, I mean, it's not visible. The government has not been able to take grip on matters. The economy is just slipping out of their hands. Pakistan is today standing at 37% inflation. It has never been like this before. And there's a breakdown of law and order. Crimes are taking place, street crimes are taking place in Karachi and Lahore, the biggest cities of Pakistan. Plus, the political instability is there. Mr. Khan has announced, like I said, he's announced a series of rallies and a long march, which will take place by the end of this month. Snap elections, early elections is the only remedy. It is the only solution. Otherwise, I'm really I'm concerned about Pakistan's stability because people are in a very angry mood. They want elections. They want a government which can stand for it. They want a government which can look after the interests of Pakistan with honor and dignity. They want a leader. They don't want
Do,
slaves.
yeah, do we have numbers here? What is the percentage of Pakistanis who are pro Imran Khan right now?
According to a recent survey by IRIS, which is you know quite famous organization survey company, they say that Mr. Khan's popularity stands at 53%. Then Mr. Nawaz Sharif, the former prime minister, who's an absconder, by the way, he's sitting in London. He stands at 23%, and the Mr. Zardari of People's Party, he stands at 4 to 5%. You can check the surveys, so you can see the difference. Mr. Khan is tremendous. His popularity is tremendous. He's even popular
Okay,
now. Even
so
when he was in government, he was not that popular. But now, since he's in opposition, he's got a sympathy of people.
okay, we only have 4 minutes to go. So I have another question, which is very important. What is the stand of your military?
Uh, well, during this crisis, during this uh, when this no confidence moves was being planned, it was being tabled against the government. The military says that it's neutral, but there's no such thing as neutral. The forces are supposed to stand with the government, but they were neutral, and a large percentage of Pakistanis, they are pointing fingers at the military for colluding with the opposition, for for saying yes to US.
Okay.
So that's this is
Uh,
what people think. A large majority of people, they think that the
so this is
military is
going to
not
be a
they are
peaceful,
not
right?
impartial at the moment. This is what people believe,
Um,
and they are
um,
somewhat angry. No, the people.
okay. Well,
It's very unfortunate.
I am very sad because I really have a lot of, I just really don't consider them as friends, but they're really my brothers and sisters. And I've known Pakistanis to be very intelligent, smart, and very fair and just. And this makes me sad knowing that Pakistan is now into a political challenge. So I only wish that Pakistan will restore peace, love, and order. And sincerely, on behalf of TBC and TV Karam, and all of us, we are a family. We pray and we wish that Allah will bless your country once again, restoring fairness, equality, and love.
Thank you. We
And
need that.
and Vox Populi, Vox Dei.
Thank you.
The voice of the people is the voice of God. May it be heard. Thank you so much. Will now you have 1 minute for your parting words.
Yes, I want to thank you for this interview, and we look forward to more talk shows with you on this subject of Pakistan, because things are moving very fast here. I'd like to report the rallies of Mr. Khan, a series of rallies.
Can we do that next time?
Yes, I can comment on these because I'm based in Karachi at the moment. So he's planning rallies all across the country, major cities of the country. But I am going to uh, comment on these rallies and the long march. Yes,
So
so we'll keep
expect
in touch.
more of Pakistan from
Yes,
TBC TV's Kuram Ali. Thank you so much, bro.
thank you for having me.
Bye bye.